Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. You wrote a great paper a little while ago about the impact of big debt on U.S. competitiveness. I know a lot of people, when they think about the national debt, they're like, I can't comprehend it. It's too big. Frankly, I don't know why that matters to me. It's really hard to personalize, $31.4 trillion in debt and say, this is why you should care, Mr. American, Mrs. American. So one of the things you said in your paper is that a large national debt depresses private investment. So let's unpack that a second. What exactly is private investment and why is it important to our economy?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And so, we're really thinking about the fact that, as we're seeing interest rates rise, there's this kind of crowding out effect in economics that we're pretty obsessed with, right? That we're looking at the fact that, as interest rates creep up, you might have private capital that could that would that investment in government. Sorry, I'm trying to think about how best to say this in the kind of the layman's terms, but as interest rates increase, that basically the return on those investments on private capital are not as great. And so, we think that over time, this could impact employment, private investment in the United States, and detrimentally impact, the U.S. economy at large. And so, as our interest costs accumulate, as we're seeing, we're coming out of a time period of where we had interest rates that were low for a significant period of time coming out of the Great Recession. Now we're seeing the impact of those rising interest rates on those costs. We've seen in recent, even just recent in recent months, how those rising interest rates have impacted private businesses through additional layoffs and kind of economic contraction among the business community. That's decreased private investment among those companies and among those sectors of the economy, which then contribute to this greater economic contraction. And so, as interest rates continue to rise, that's certainly a significant concern, and that is just only kind of exponential when we're thinking about kind of the bills that are coming due in terms of our larger interest payments for the national debt. And so, it's all interrelated, but I really do think that, it's not just the public sector that we're concerned about, but we're also kind of this complete holistic economic picture of the importance of private investment and its impact on the labor market as well.
Sure. No, I was just trying to, give a real home experience. If I'm one of the things that COVID revealed is that a lot of our supply chain is sort of scattered throughout the globe. And when we figured out that, hey, that's actually a real risk to us. And so there's been this big incentive to try and rehome a lot of the supply chains for auto manufacturers, biomedical engineers and manufacturing, and pharmaceutical drug manufacturers, et cetera. So if I'm Eli Lilly and I want to build a new manufacturing plant to produce my next, really important drug here in the United States, I need to build a plant. I need to purchase the equipment. I need to hire people. I don't have the cash to do that all at once. Right. So I need to go out and find new capital. And I do that in the form of borrowing money, for example. That's one way. Well, if interest rates are sky high because we have this big national debt and the federal government's gobbling up so much money, interest rates are rising, suddenly I'm priced out of a loan and I can't build that plant.
Yes.
Right. Same thing if I'm Ford Motor Company and I'm trying to get chip manufacturing relocated here in the United States. I've got to build a big, huge factory with a clean room, et cetera, et cetera. All that costs money, same problem. So big national debt means high interest rates, which means, it's really hard to get the cash that you need, the liquidity that you need to build all these things, build new roads, build new bridges, et cetera, that make our economy grow.